So, are you ready to roller jab?
Last week, GM Kenneth Logue's Sundogs spanked the Quakes with the addition of some big guns.
Texas was great to me, but I started as a Sundog, so I'll always be a Sundog at heart.
You know, I was really tired of all the disarray on the Quakes. I'm a military man, so of course I like the way Mr. Logue runs a team. It's kind of like boot camp.
Plus, an unknown recruit, Lord Scott Patterson, first onto the Sundog scene.
It grew so tiresome being the top skater in the British League, so I came here to teach some of your stupid American skaters some manners.
Riot King Richard won't take kindly to those words, especially after his unexpected haircut at the hands of hot-diced Mark Webber.
Mark Webber's going to pay, the WSL's going to pay, that chump Kenneth Logue's going to pay, and all of the cameramen that shot that game, you're going to pay.
It's the Riot versus the Sundogs, next on Roller Jam. From Orlando, Florida and Universal Studios, this is Roller Jam in the World Skating League. Very happy to have you with us once again. I'm Rory Marcus, along with me, Hawk Rearman. You gotta love the Jam girls, and you gotta love Roller Jam, and here we are. I'm Rory Marcus along with Lee Hawk Rearman. Tonight, it's the Sundogs and the Riot, and what should be a great matchup between these two teams, and the Sundogs are in Kenneth Logue's image now, whether you like that or not. He has this team skating and playing just the way he wants them to. That includes his newest skater, Lord Scott Patterson, who, in an unbelievable amount of energy and display of talent, was able to help them win their last game. Even though Posse Shalane and Sean Atkinson tried to rip his shirt off, he had about half a T-shirt on. He was exhausted. He was in the last jam. It was his first game as a Sundog, and with a little helping hand from Bill Barker, he was able to pull that game out and make Logue happy and make the Sundogs and their fans happy.
Wait a minute, this guy even lost his pants and they still pulled it out. And also added to the stable of Kenneth Logue is Lindsey Francis. She's now got a Sundog uniform on, and this is the first time she gets to go against her arch enemy, Denise Loden, after this melee that ensued at the All-Star game. You see crazy on the pants of Denise Loden. Well, it promises to be crazy here tonight, Rory.
What kind of behavior is that for an All-Star game? We'll see more of it tonight, maybe. Let's get ready now because the skaters are set to skate onto the track. And that stirring music can mean only one thing, and that is that the Florida Sundogs are in town and ready to go. And look at this guy now. I mean, what is he going to think of next? That's Kenneth Logue, who is arriving to coach this game in an all-terrain vehicle with cute little WSL flags attached to it. Isn't he just the greatest? I wonder where he got that Army helmet. Probably passed down by General Douglas MacArthur, perhaps, with all of Logue's contacts. But he waves to the crowd, and he has his team ready to go. He likens this battle to going to war, and that's the explanation that he'll give us for that vehicle, I'm sure. Bill Barker and Lindsey Francis, two keys to Logue's kingdom as they arrive on the track. And now Janet Abraham and Lord Scott Patterson, who will be applying for his citizenship papers soon, I'm sure. And the rest of the Florida Sundogs. Boy, they're going to have a battle on their hands tonight, though, because Denise Loden and King Richard and Ray Robles, they'll have their sights set on what they see as a team full of goody two-shoes. They do get a hand from the crowd, some of the crowd at least, as Logue pulls into the infield in his new vehicle. And my, this guy is really something, isn't he? Just take a look at Kenneth Logue getting off and getting ready to go to war. Well. He gets weirder every day, I think.
This guy rules with an iron fist, that's for sure.
He comes on the track in a some kind of a vehicle there that he could be driving out somewhere in the sand dunes as he conducts war. Maybe that's what he thinks this is, Roller Jam. He certainly has his team ready to go. But now, let's see what happens when the Illinois Riot come on the track. The sirens wail, and that means the Illinois Riot, they'll be coming up out of the sewer soon, and here they come. I don't know where they hang out before the game. They just kind of emerge, and all of a sudden there they are amongst the crowd. Brian Gamble slapping hands down there. There's Gina Lombardo saluting the crowd. Amy Craig will play a big part in this game. Bo Sanders ready to go. And I'll tell you what, Kenneth Logue's team will have his hands full. There's still time reserved, though, for a grand entrance for a couple of these players. Namely, number 1, there she is, Denise Logue. You know she's not going to be coming out of any sewers. She looks too good for that. And you wouldn't want to get your crown dirty if you were coming to the game either, and that's why King Richard Brown uses the conventional way to arrive to work as well. The King is ready to hold court tonight. Well, the new crown is in place at last. He has a new haircut, too, thanks to Mark Webber, that we'll see pretty soon, but he sure is full of himself tonight.
Well, we've got two monarchs. We got King Richard, and we've got Kenneth Logue.
One of them must fall tonight, right? I'd like to know where the heck the Riot players are before their introduction music starts, because they just kind of emerge from nowhere, and all of a sudden they're in the stands.
They're out stealing hubcaps.
Could be. There's Denise Loden. Somebody will give her a nice ride. She doesn't need to steal anything. The King is with Broadway Danny Wolf. Let's get the interview.
Yeah, the last time we saw you, Richard, last time you were on the track, you got a very bad haircut. We all remember from Hot Dice. Remember Mark Webber? It was embarrassing for you, but it's hard to see what kind of hair. I'm trying to get a glimpse under the crown. You gonna unveil your new haircut here?
Hey, Danny, it doesn't matter what you do to me, you will never dethrone the King.
Whoa! GQ King, nice hair.
Wait a minute, you ain't no king. You ain't no king. You're the king of your own domain. Self-proclaimed king of what? King of what? King of D-Crown the King.
When I get through with you, you're gonna know who the king of this track is.
Shaking in my boots, little Dick.
All right, you guys will have to settle this in the second period. Rory, back to you.
All right, thanks, Danny. Looks like Richard's ready to do a margarine commercial with that crown on. And Lord Scott Patterson, he thinks he knows a little something about royalty.
And Lindsey Francis, we talked about her at the top, the golden girl. You see that golden hair? Well, Denise Loden is going to try to get a hold of it often, many times, and I think she's probably trying to pull it right now in Denise Loden. If Richard Brown's the king, if Lord Patterson's a lord, well, Denise Loden is the queen, and she's got blonde hair there on your screen, but she's got red hair here on the track, Rory.
She's going for the Jerry Lee Lewis Award, the killer of Denise Loden leading the league in kills, and here we go. First period about ready to get underway tonight. World Skating League Roller Jam Arena. Here we go, the Riot and the Sundogs. The Riot with Amy Craig and Denise Loden pulling a hair already. Wow, what a start to this game. Lindsey Francis has plenty of hair to pull, too. But that gets Amy Craig out there by herself on this jam. Just the start of the game. Happier with us tonight, everybody. Should be a good one. These two teams, need we even say it? They're not particularly fond of each other. And here comes Amy Craig up to the back of the pack. See if she can get on the scoreboard early here against these Sundogs. Lindsey Francis back there to block. Craig trying to get through. She has 19 seconds, so plenty of time left on the jam, especially if she gets some help from Denise Loden, and you talk about help. Wow! April Tootle goes down, Francis goes down, and Craig gets the points.
And the story in the World Skating League, Rory, has been the 1-2 punch developing for these Riot with Denise Loden and Amy Craig. The Golden Girl smiling there. I don't know why she's smiling, because they just got had to the Sundogs by Denise Loden and Amy Craig.
The early score, 2-0. We'll be back right after this. 2-0, the Riot. They've jumped out to the early lead in this game with the women on the track here in the first period. There are four jam periods in Roller Jam. The women skate periods 1 and 3. The men are out there for 2 and 4. 5 skaters per team. You can pick out the 2 jammers. They have the black helmets. They are the only ones who can score points, and they do that when they lap members of the opposing team. Those are the Roller Jam rules. Kenneth Logue knows them well. He's with Broadway Danny Wolf.
Oh boy, does he, Rory. First, I gotta ask you about that entrance. What was that you came in on, Kenneth?
We're at war here in the World Skating League, Daniel. That helmet was the helmet my father wore when he stormed the beaches at Normandy, and that is my armor.
And let me ask you about this big wall with arms. I mean, this security guard, why is he here at the end of your bench, Kenneth?
Strictly as a precaution, just in case Denise Loden decides to go trailer park again.
Back to you, Rory.
All right, thanks a lot, Danny. I told you he thought we were at war. This guy's brain is muddled.
Well, that big guy, I think, puts us over our fire code, Rory.
That big guy hasn't thought about anything in about 20 years.
He looks like a fire engine.
It's 2-0. The Riot in front, and Gina Lombardo's jamming for the Riot now against Lindsey Francis once again. Lindsey was knocked out of that first jam. Let's see if she can get the points back. 2 good skaters. Boy, they can really move around that track. If you don't think it's hard, put on a pair of inline skates and try and find a bank track somewhere. It's very hard.
No, thank you.
Francis and Lombardo still together on this jam. And now Gina Lombardo gets knocked out of there, and the wild child is on the track. Here comes Francis, and who do you think's back there to block? Who else? Denise Loden. And Denise rips Francis 2 or 3 times before Lindsey pulls her down by that red hair. And Francis has picked up a bunch of points. She calls off the jam.
There was 3 yellow on the flag.
And Loden is skating through the infield looking for Lindsey Francis. You bet. Here she comes. She doesn't even know she's coming, I don't think.
And a double standard with Kenneth Logue. He seems to be mute. The golden girl grabs the red girl, the hair of Denise Loden, and Kenneth Logue. He's got this big monster out there to enforce some rules. How about enforcing it for your own team there, pal?
Well, we know from his stint as league general manager that he looks the other way when it's to his advantage. 3-2. The Sundogs did get 3 points there, so they have a 1-point lead, and now Laura Heiser's out there for the Dogs against Denise Loden.
Well, Denise Loden must be having a good hair day because she continually throws her helmet off when she gets out there, Rory. She wants to show you, actually the last time out, she said her new red hair was for you, didn't she?
She did, and I'll tell you what, it's always a good hair day now. Loden's coming up where Lindsey Francis is hanging out. Well, these two are going to go at each other every single jam, it seems. Wow, and they're both up against the rail now, and they're after each other's hair, and Lindsey uses the knee to knock Loden down. Oh, don't think that Denise is going to stay down, though. Here we go. Here we go. How long until they start trading blows, do you think? Not too long. Oh, look who's here. He's here to protect Lindsey as much as he is Logue. Logue said, protect my little girl.
Let's go. Get this pack together.
Once again, she grabs the hair of Denise Loden, does the golden girl. Kenneth Logue's a little bit silent, sends out the brute force, his army of 1. I tell you what, the guy that says one's all he needs, but Kenneth Logue, this double standard.
Looks like Lindsey has a little more confidence to go after Loden with that walking fire hydrant out there. 5-2, the Sundogs have a 3-point lead. Norma Marshall for the Riot gets knocked out of the play by Lindsey Francis, but that leaves Amy Craig to deal with. Craig's trying to grab a hold of Lindsey's hair, trying to give a little payback. Craig and Francis, 2 of the better jammers in this league. The final jam of the women's period in a 5-2 game so far. Half a minute left in the jam. Neither one of them giving an inch. Francis might be a little tired. What do you think? Now Craig has a hold of Lindsey's hair, and she's not letting go. Not until she gets the Loden, that is. Boy, she just ran her right into it. And now Denise says, come on, Amy, let's go get some points. She reaches out the hand for the whip, and Amy Craig goes underneath. 2 Sundogs and picks up the points. They gave her 2, and they gave 1 Sundog point. So Amy Craig scores a couple of more. And now look at Denise Loden. She's pushing somebody that's not her own size, a little bigger than her. That's the end of the first period. The score, 6-4 Sundogs. Welcome back to Roller Jam Arena, World Skating League, 6-4 Sundogs. Broadway Danny Wolf, tell Denise her hair looks fabulous tonight.
Yeah, she looks fabulous. The hair color is great. I got to ask you your thoughts, Denise. Kenneth Logue III bringing this big security guard to watch Lindsay's back so you don't go trailer park on her. Take a look at one of the plays from the first period. Let's get your thoughts on what's going on.
Okay, good block, good block. Oh, cheap shot, cheap shot. Okay, first of all, Kenneth, if I go trailer park on Lindsay, I'm going to have to pull out the double wide for that fat ass. Okay, second of all, Lindsay is like your little hooker that you're pimping out. Game after game, you let her get away with everything, Kenneth. It's not fair. And stop calling my house.
Ooh, back to you, Rory.
Woo. So, Kenneth Logue has been on the phone, huh? He'll never admit it. Look at him. What a humorless man.
I always say it, Kenneth, turn that frown upside down. But we're talking royalty when we talk about the men's period, Rory. We got Lord Scott Patterson, who has challenged Richard Brown that he has no royalty, creed, or regency of any type. And the king, Richard Brown, he's got a new crown, he's got a new haircut, but he's going to be up to the same old tricks.
All right, second period ready to go. Lord Scott Patterson had the winning jam in his roller jam debut. That must have made him happy. Made all the folks back in England real proud, too, I'm sure. And King Richard Brown, I'm not sure exactly where he reigns other than here, but it doesn't matter right now, does it? Because this is where he is, and he takes out two Sundog jammers. 5 decades of roller derby for this guy.
Well, and Rory, obviously the old cat's up to some tricks. He knows what he's doing because if you remember last time out, Ray Robles had a severely dislocated finger. He's not at full strength, and the king has put a jammer helmet on right out of the chute. He knows he has to give that extra 10% today, and he's doing it right now with a jammer helmet on.
There's the cast on Robles' right hand, but this guy is super tough. Look, he can even whip with that hand and send Brown right through there. 2, 3 points as he gets by Rusty Montgomery, and the king called it off. He picked up 3 big ones, though. Nice play by Richard Brown, and Millie Guthrie comes over. Travis Willis say, "You all right, King?"
You see the grimace on his face. We talk about him not being the youngest cat in town, but he knows he has to get it done. He may not be as pretty as he used to be, and goodness knows he doesn't land as soft as he used to either, but the king, he's full of pomp and circumstance, but he's also full of some darn good play when he has to, Rory.
I asked him how old he is. He said 45. Figure that out. 5 decades of roller derby.
The last time out, I said he was playing roller derby before Hawaii was a state, and I got hate mail from everybody in his family, all 700,000 of them.
You know what I'd like to find out is why half of the Riot have on their old uniforms and the rest of the guys have on little baggy shorts and red T-shirts. What's that all about?
Well, I guess the young guns here for the Riot, as one of the young guns goes down, I think that was Mike Tanner goes down, but these young guys, they like the jerseys that the Hot Dice young guys, the X-Men wore. They decided to bring out the orange of their own.
Well, all right, we'll let them do it. Who's going to say no? Logue? D'Amano? There's nobody in control around here. Bill Barker, Captain America, flies through the air, knocks down Gamble, and knocks down Robles. And Lord Scott Patterson gets the points. Boy, this guy has made an impact in this league, I'll give him that.
The Boston Tea Party notwithstanding either, Rory, Captain America and Lord Patterson, there's got to be some kind of bad George Washington reference in there. Maybe he's rolling over in his grave because these two guys are working together. But Lord Patterson, last time out, he started his resume, and Captain America, once again with his signature move, takes down all the Riot.
We are allies these days, you know. And Scott Patterson sits down next to Broadway Danny Wolf. 10-7 the score now. The Sundogs have the lead, and Ray Robles grabs the jammer's helmet. Let's see if he can get out there with that sore finger and all. He's looking for a whip from Brown, and he's got it. Now can he get through the front of that pack? He tries to sneak through on the bottom, and does so with a nice little move to get around Montgomery and Barker.
No, that's all. No,
and now Ray Robles is out on the jam with Micah Martin. And Micah Martin, a pretty good skater, but Robles takes him down. Martin goes a little hurt as he gets into the infield. All right, now Robles gets up toward the back of the pack where Richard Brown is hanging out. The king says, "Let me lead you through the kingdom." Barker to block, and Robles puts the knees right into his back. That knocked about 4 people down, including Ray Robles, who gets back up to try and score the points. Here's a double whip for Robles. He's out of time, though, in this jam.
One red.
Looks like that hand hurts a little bit, but he did pick up 1 point.
Let's go.
You'd have to cripple these guys to get them off the track. They bounce right back up from adversity. Barker's up. Robles is up. They're ready to go again.
I was talking to Robles this morning. He said in the good old days, the heyday, the glory years of roller derby, when you didn't play, you didn't get paid. He wanted to come back when he dislocated the thing last time, Rory. Ain't nothing gonna keep this guy down, not even Travis Wills.
He'd have played last night with his finger bent out of shape if he could have done it. 10-8.
I broke a nail last week and I didn't show up.
I noticed that. Mighty disappointing. Sundogs have a 2-point lead. This is the final jam number 4 in this first half. And they're out there. Getting out right away for the Sundogs is Lord Patterson. And Mo Sanders goes after him now. Mo's got that new uniform the Riot want to wear, but it didn't do him any good right there. Patterson says they don't change uniforms at Buckingham Palace. You better stick with the old guard, buddy. Sanders just got knocked down again in the front of the pack. But now in the back, here's a tough duo to get by until Brown slips and falls, so there's 1 point. Now Robles is trying to hold up Patterson. They had a double block until Richard lost his footing. They're ganging up on Robles. They spin him around, and Patterson gets by on top of the track. He goes high, he goes low. He's inside him and outside him. Calls the jam off, but it was a good one for he and the Sundogs.
What a heads-up play by Lord Patterson, who Richard Brown is little cat and mouse, little king and lord. But Lord Patterson once again making his presence known. Captain America, Rusty Montgomery. This kid's got a lot of armor in front of him.
He's hiding. He's hiding behind Rusty and Barker. Wow. It's halftime. We'll be back.
Trouble in paradise.
We are back at Roller Jam Arena. As you can see, the Sundogs have a 5-point lead over the Riot at halftime. Rory Marcus and Lee Hawk Ribbon. We've seen some rugged action from both the men and the women in the first half of this game. And the women really got things started because every time the Sundogs play the Riot, Lindsey Francis and Denise Loden, right from the opening whistle, go right at each other, and no exception here tonight. Even on this jam, you see Denise Loden blocking, throws a good elbow into the chest of Francis, but then Lindsey says, well, you like that new red hair? I'll grab it and go right on by you.
Well, it seems like nobody wanted to wear their helmets, especially Denise Loden, but somebody who does have his helmet on is Lord Patterson. This guy has been brought in by Kenneth Logue, and he's got a couple of Army men ahead of him, keeping with this military theme. You see Captain America and Rusty Montgomery allowing this little wiry Lord Patterson to really get it done for this Kenneth Logue Sundog team, Rory.
I don't know if anybody can ever explain what goes through Kenneth Logue's head, but let's try and find out more about this guy.
The war between GM Kenneth Logue III and enforcer Mark D'Amato may never end. But the bomb D'Amato recently dropped on Logue seems to have blown up in his face. This senseless act of brutality by enforcer Mark D'Amato on GM Kenneth Logue cost this union leader his job. Although this gave Logue back his command of the WSL headquarters, he now has to fix all of D'Amato's mistakes.
Mark D'Amato's All-Star Challenge was nothing more than a demented advertisement for a perverse battle of the sexes.
One irate fan was found outside picketing.
That All-Star game was disgusting. Men hitting women should not be tolerated. And I hope Mark D'Amato burns in hell.
Mark D'Amato's attempt to destroy my league with sex and violence has failed. I can assure the fans of the World Skating League that his demented antics are about to come to an abrupt end.
Hey, I agree with you, man. That guy's a jerk. I asked him for an autograph and broke my friggin' wrist.
Kenneth, you're certainly living large these days. That was a nice feature on you just now we saw. I also got to say the new issue of Roller Jam magazine, which is on newsstands, cute little picture of you here in the hourglass.
Actually, Daniel, they didn't capture my best side. They never even tried that bloody rag.
I'm sure Colin Bowman will take exception to that. Now, right now, you demanded some microphone time, and I see the sign Bill Barker and Rusty Montgomery are holding up that says life. What is this?
Daniel, we are locked in mortal combat in this country, and at stake is nothing less than the hearts and minds of the younger generation. So, I have established what I call my lifeline. Life standing for lewdness, individuality, fighting, and excessive violence. I'm making a vow to the parents of this country that I will eliminate these things, first of all, from the World Skating League, and then, God help me, from our good country.
What's behind all this? Not very popular with the crowd there, Kenneth, but what is behind this life thing? Come on.
Let me answer that with a quote from one of my favorite songs. In ancient Rome, they felt so free, doing what comes naturally. They were so busy being merry ones that they didn't notice the barbarians. Freedom isn't free, Daniel.
I know that song, Muskrat Love by the Captain and Tennille.
Up with people, Daniel, long before your time.
Well, maybe before my time. Thank you for the musical history lesson. Rory, back to you. Were you a lead singer in that group, by the way, Rory?
Backup singer with the Captain and Tennille. Well, I don't know. We might have more lewdness when we come back. Stay with us.
I hope so.
Welcome back, everybody, to Roller Jam Arena. 13-8, the Sundogs leading it by 5 over the Riot. And Kenneth Logue, only he could think up something as obscure and absurd as a lifeline. But he did think it up anyway. So here we go. Jam number 1 of the women's period. Denise Loden has the Jammers helmet on. So does Amy Craig. They've been great since they came together on this team. Laura Heiser and Lindsey Francis out there trying to knock them down. And Lindsey and Loden go down. And so far, nobody's been able to get out on the jam until now. Amy Craig and Laura Heiser. As good as Loden and Craig have been, the Riot are trailing this game by 5. And Laura Heiser's a pretty good skater herself. Still half a minute to go in this jam. The reason I hesitated here for a moment was just out of sheer disgust. You might ask why.
Why?
It's because Mark D'Amato's in the booth with us.
You. Thank you, Dory. It's a pleasure to be here.
No, Rory. Sure. Rory with an R.
You mind if I smoke?
No, go right ahead. I know Cigarettes on Wheels supplies you with free cigarettes all the time.
Absolutely.
Whoa! Oh, man. Denise Loden gets knocked down hard by Lindsey Francis, so she gets a little of her retribution, and Heiser gets the points. Well, Mark, I guess you're really enthused about Kenneth Logue's lifeline.
Oh, yeah, it's a thrill a minute. You know, he'll do anything to be like me. I came out with my death list earlier, late last year, and now he, of course, comes with his life list.
I guess you'll be right there trying to keep lewdness out of this league, since you promised sex and violence.
As I said in the last game, my focus this next year is sex and violence.
How could anyone focus on sex and violence?
Watch me, Corey. I'm on his side with that one, Rory, but I'll lay out here.
Naturally. And you're also wanting more lewdness, so, you know. Here goes Francis and Loden again. Denise Loden, who got knocked out of that last jam, and Lindsey Francis with the Riot trailing by 6 now, and Loden needs to get some points on the board. Never mind the personal battles, which, by the way, Mark, I've always wondered whether you'd rather win a game or hurt the opposition.
I try to do a combination of both.
Speaking of hurt, Amy Craig just laid a hurting on the Golden Girl. She's got to be getting tired, Rory. You said it in the first half. She looked like she was starting to suck wind a little bit. It's 2 against 1 with Denise Loden and Amy Craig going after Lindsey Francis. She's smiling, and I think she's got to be sucking some wind here.
And they got Millie Guthrie in there quick from the back of the pack to join the jam. And her and Loden are both picking up points as they get by Kathy Evangelo without too much trouble. Loden calls it off, and the Riot are right back in the game. What was the idea, Mark, of bringing the Harleys onto the track the other day?
That is my current mode of transportation. That's all I talk about.
She never exited the track.
Not to mention the intimidation.
She was on the track. Amy Craig was on the infield. On the infield. She did not. She was standing still.
Kenneth Logue arguing the rules with Sean Corbin, saying that shouldn't have been allowed because of the move by Amy Craig.
For some reason. Apparently, it looks like Amy Craig, without her helmet, her foot was off the track. Therefore, I guess Sean Corbin is ruling she was not eligible, or Kenneth Logue is arguing that her foot was on the track. I guess Sean Corbin didn't see it. And Kenneth Logue was not happy that his Golden Girl was taken down by Amy Craig, looking for any advantage he could get, but Sean Corbin would have none of it.
What do you think of those bodyguards, D'Amato, that Kenneth Logue has out there? Does that worry you?
No, it doesn't worry me at all. You saw how I handled the ECW wrestlers. No problem whatsoever.
Game's tied up at 14. Laura Heiser and Millie Guthrie, two pretty good jammers in this league right now. And Guthrie puts the knee up, doesn't knock Heiser down. Laura comes back with an elbow, and the two of them go at it with 35 seconds left in this jam. And a tie score in the third period. What's next for the Enforcers, I almost hate to ask.
What's next for the Enforcers is the usual, whatever you can expect from the Enforcers. Domination, devastation, and plenty of points in the win column.
Denise Logue gets knocked down by Francis. Heiser's getting the points. Amy Craig goes down. Big jam for the Sundogs.
Total of 3 yellow. Got a total of 3 yellow on a play.
3 points for the Sundogs. Well, you got to say one thing, Mark. Kenneth Logue has his team in pretty good shape and skating well.
Yeah, whatever. You know, he brings this guy, what's his name, Lady Patterson?
Lord, yeah, Lord.
Yeah, Lady Patterson. He brings this thing over from England to intimidate me, a rookie to intimidate me. I don't get this guy. He's a piece of work.
Well, there's another buddy of yours, Mark, King Richard.
You know, Richard's another one. You know what? 5 decades doesn't impress me. This guy was skating before the wheel was invented.
17-14, the Sundogs have taken the lead by 3. Last jam of this women's period. So, Mark, I know you got to leave. You probably, you and Tim,
you know what? I'm
go
sick of this guy. All right, Maury, I got to go.
No problem. Go on and play in the traffic or something.
Maury. Called you Maury.
Yeah, well, and Corey and everything else you could think of.
Maury.
So it's 17-14. Well, you just know, I'd hate to even think about where he's going now, you know?
I want to have that chair dry clean that he was just sitting in.
Lindsey Francis knocks down Amy Craig, and now Denise Loden is waiting for it. A rip one right across the face. Wow. How about those high elbows? What's Corbin looking at right now? And now she grabs her around the neck and takes her into the infield and the bench, which I would think King Richard probably set up for her.
No score. No score.
Loden loves to stand over that fallen opponent. No points.
Oh, no. Wow. I thought Lindsey Francis was going to get tired. Denise Loden, although I guess the period's over. Here comes the mountain of melted mozzarella.
Yeah, but they're holding him back. His job is to protect poor little Lindsey. Denise Loden got a little rabbit punch in there. You know how smart that guy is? He hired a security guy with a hot dice shirt on. We'll be back with the 4th and final period in just a minute. We're just about ready for the 4th and final period of this game. It's been a good one, 17-14. Right now, Broadway Danny Wolf is in the infield with the man Mark D'Amato just referred to as Lady Patterson. Tell him about it, Danny.
No, it's actually Lord Patterson. We won't listen to D'Amato.
Thank you, Danny.
You're welcome. I know you're very concerned right now about your teammate Lindsey Francis.
Yeah, you know, Lindsey's a tough cookie, though. She'll make it through, you know, and it's now time. King Dickie, hey, King Dick, it's time for you and your class of clans to be taken down. The Sundogs are here to stay. Look out, King Dick, look out.
Well, let me ask you, though. I mean, you are a rookie. Richard Brown this is his 5th decade of experience. You may want to watch your back. I mean, he's a KG veteran. This is only your 2nd game.
That 2nd game, that's all numbers. It's all numbers. You know, the only number you should worry about is 5 decades, 50 years, King Dick. Come on, it's time to make room for some young blood.
All right, good luck. Yeah, Richard's ready for you. Back to you, Rory.
All right, thanks, Danny. Now take a look here. Lindsey Francis, along with the trainer, Ken Tracy, and whoever that other guy is, the bodyguard, helping her off the track, probably taking her over to Logue's apartment to lay down and rest.
That guy's like East 153rd Street between 7th and 8th Avenue.
Here we go, line him up, line him up.
Yeah, they're going to be late getting there. He's going to have to stop for a burger or 3 or 4.
400.
4th period about to go. In a good game.
On the line.
17-14 in favor of the Sundogs. The dice look on the Riot with those shirts and pants, other than the old guys, of course, Robles and Brown, and even Brian Gamble sticking with the old uniform. First jam underway, and the Sundogs, there he is, Lord Patterson. He's out there on the jam. But I think Danny Wolf is right. This guy better watch his back. in his second game, feeling a little full of himself against the guys like Robles and Brown. He might get hurt.
Well, and Captain America, Rusty Montgomery, were really in his stable in the second period, Rory. Let's see if they continue that trend here in the fourth.
He hides behind him. Robles with that cast on his right arm, puts it around the neck of Patterson, brings him to the rail, and now what, Ray? What do you got in mind? Oh, the knees right into the midsection. And Ray's not done. What's Loden doing out there? Oh, it's a melee now.
Well, Rory, you know what happened when this big security guard was carting Lindsey Francis off the track? It left many of these Sundogs vulnerable, and the Riot are taking full advantage. Lord Patterson shaken up.
Ray Robles, tough as ever, dislocated finger and knot. Brown's got a little grin, and Denise Logue skated over and said, "How's that feel, Lord?" He is tough, though, isn't he?
Let's go!
Well, Ray Robles, you get a good shot of the severely bandaged hand of Ray Robles. He's not thinking about that. He's thinking about paycheck and putting a little hurting on the Lord. And King Dick, as Lady Patterson called him, just comes over and makes himself a human missile. He can get it done when he has to. He just picks and chooses his battles more wisely now.
Second jam of 4 in this final period. And Mo Sanders and Travis Wills, a couple of the young guys with the Riot, get out there. Sigmund Williams and Micah Martin chase him. Now here's some of the young blood in this league that Patterson was talking about a minute ago. Let's see which team has the advantage in this one.
Keep it tight. Tighten this pack up. It's too strung out.
Here the referee, Sean Corbin, telling him to tighten that pack up. Now both the jammers reach the back of the pack, and there are blockers for both sides. Barker for the Sundogs, Brown for the Riot. They're both doing a good job so far. Ooh, that hurts. And so does that. Barker did a heck of a job. And now he's going to hip check Brown out. Right into the ramp where they come on the track. Oh, man, what a job the Sundogs are doing against the Riot here. Brown, Robles, and everybody else on their backs.
There's bodies all over the tracks, Rory. These guys are playing a little rough, and once again, this doesn't bode well for the Sundogs. Ray Robles just running his mouth.
The Sundogs are playing clean but tough, and they're winning this thing. We'll be back in a minute. (21-14), Sundogs by the football score. They have a touchdown and an extra point advantage over the Riot. With a couple of jams left in this game, really.
It could have been 2 field goals and a safety. No, it could have been
that'd
2.
Be 8.
Could have been
brilliant.
A field goal and
never mind
2 safeties.
Here we go. Out there on the jam, Rusty Montgomery, the former California Quake. He's fitting in with Kenneth Logue's team. He never got much of a chance to emerge from Atkinson's shadow. Didn't get to jam much with the Quakes, but here with the Sundogs, he's playing a much more featured role.
And I'm wondering what he's doing out here as a jammer. They may be protecting the lead, but now it's no time to play cautious, Rory.
Brian Gamble is out there as well for the Riot. He has on the black helmet, but he gets knocked down. Barker's having a big game as a blocker. Robles is taking Montgomery, and just as I say something good about Barker, he runs himself into the rail. And Robles knocks down Rusty Montgomery once, twice. In the infield he goes. And Ray's not finished. Brown got up because Patterson had knocked him down, but little Richard now, he's sneaking through the bench.
He didn't win any of Captain America. No, sir, Mr. America. Captain America, Lord Patterson once again hiding behind him.
Let's go, let's go.
King for a day.
Let's go.
Lord
Pack it
for
up.
a lifetime.
Pack it up.
He's learned to pick his spots. He saw Barker there and he said, no, never mind, I didn't say anything. Meanwhile, Patterson's hiding behind Barker.
It's good guy to hide behind Captain America.
I'll tell you what, though, the Sundogs have been impressive in this game up to now. There's time for one last jam, and the Sundogs have the lead by 6. It would take a monumental effort by the Riot on this jam to pull this game out. They do get 2 jammers out, though, 2 of their quick guys, Mike Tanner and Travis Wills, against Micah Martin and Sigmund Williams. So let's see if the Riot can pull it out. They got rid of Williams, and now Micah Martin stood up on one skate for a moment but went down.
And they got a chance, Rory. 2 jammers out, uncontested. They need a whole bunch of points, but they have a chance to get them right here.
They need 6 to tie and 7 to win. Barker's back there. He's been tough all night. I don't know how you get by this guy unless somebody comes with a block to help you out. And then Robles sneaks back there, and that's what he has in mind. Robles leads the interference. Oh, whacks Barker in the back. They get a couple right there. Tanner and Wills, they picked up 2 or 3 each. If they got 4 each, they're going to win it. They got it.
They did it.
The Riot win the game. Oh, man, Travis Wills and Mike Tanner. What a play called by Brown, huh? He said, you guys with the orange t-shirts, get out there and win this thing for us.
We talk about the precision of the play of the Sundogs led by Kenneth Logue, lest we forget that Richard Brown's been around for 2,000 years in this sport. Sets the 2 young cats out to score the points. Him and Ray Robles, the old guard, does the blocking. And the females on the bench are celebrating. Great job for the Riot, Rory.
Remember this, too. King Richard, when he had a chance to fight Barker before this last play, said, no, I'm not going to do it. What's the matter, Bill? Let's just skate. And then he helps his team pull out the game.
And here you see the 2 jammers, Wills and Tanner, following the blocks of Robles and Brown. It wasn't as pretty as it is for some people, but they got it done, got the points. Even an injured Ray Robles is very valuable to his Riot teammates, and they're celebrating.
They win the game, and my close personal friend, who we mistakenly put on national television a moment ago, Mark D'Amato, is going to get another chance to speak. Broadway, take it.
Thanks, Rory. Yeah, Mark D'Amato. We heard Kenneth Logue at halftime talk about his lifeline, sort of the rebuttal to your death list.
You know, as I said in the booth earlier, the lifeline is only a cheap imitation of the death list that I came out with last year. It's Logue's feeble attempt to be just like me.
Well, how are you going to handle the L in life? And the L we know stands for lewdness.
Exactly. At the next game, you will find out.
Well, I got to say right now, it's L-I-F-E. The fight...
I am never without a plan, and put your tongue back in your mouth.
Please. Well, Kenneth Logue's standing over here listening. Your next game will be against the Hot Dice. And once again, Mark D'Amato promises that he will fulfill his life promises when he skates in the against the Hot Dice in the next game.
Stay tuned, people. You've got something to say. I got a lot of surprises in store.
All right, back to you, Rory and Hawk.
All right, thanks a lot, Danny. He tries to combine winning a game with hurting people. What a great goal. And Logue, you lost tonight, pal. 23-21.